What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, we got quite another big load of Scream 6 rumors/pictures that we need to talk about, and those are, I guess, two different things. So what I want to do is I want to kind of focus this on the Ghostface mask picture that was revealed today, but I also want to go over quite a few different things that was revealed over the last couple days. Now, some of it is, again, like this Ghostface mask seems to be from the trailer. The tagline of the movie that we'll talk about seems to be from the trailer. There are things we will talk about that could be considered spoilers to some. They're general things, but they do give away, small little things in the movie. I will warn you when we get to that point. All right, so this part is going to be, it's not spoilers because it's just the trailer, and unless you're not going to watch the trailer, right? So let's go through the picture first, starting with the decayingness. Now, I don't know if this is the same mask as the one in that bodega, the one that we saw Ghostface with a shotgun. It doesn't, there are some similarities to it for sure, but there also isn't. Mainly, well, the blood is one part of it. Also, there are a lot more cracks on it, even all the way down to the mouth. When we were talking about the bodega picture, I noticed a lot of the, with the eyebrows or the extended eyes above it, all of that seemed to be very much warped and broken and all that stuff. That's the stuff that seemed to be messed up, not necessarily the bottom stuff. Yet again, could be the lighting, could be, how a lot of things just generally look. Now, this could be the exact same mask, and it could be after that scene. They dropped the mask in the middle of the street. You see, I mean, assuming those are car lights, right? This is in the New York, just streets, just in the random New York City. So that's pretty sweet. I mean, that's a nice shot. And again, this seems to be from the trailer. We'll have to wait to see, what kind of which part of the trailer this actually is, but we have that. Now we go to the next thing, which is the New York or cheesy or whatever. Maybe neither of those are the right word, or maybe one of them is. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. It's kind of like the new decade, new rules thing that they did with Scream 4. I honestly like that one a lot more. The New York, that's more, well, again, I don't watch too many other horror movies, but that's like Jason Takes Manhattan. That's the kind of that stuff to me. That's what it kind of rings. But again, I'm not here boycotting the film. I'm not saying it's an awful tagline. I'm just not a gigantic fan of it. But you'd imagine that's how it ends. Trailer, I mean. And we continue to see, Scream, and the M goes into the VI, and that's how you get the 6 in Scream. So and I still like that logo quite a bit. And now we get a little tagline to it. So we have that. Now, I would say that's the last of the non-spoiler things. Those two things are most likely, actually, most definitely going to appear in the trailer. But what we're about to talk about from viewer and on, these are things that are in the movie. So I'll start with the least spoiler thing, but these are going to contain, some things that maybe, if you wanted to, and, I try to be respectful to you guys as much as possible. I don't want to just throw a spoiler your way without letting you know. So just to let you know. So the first thing I want to talk about is him saying another definitive, right? No Neve Campbell. So there was a tweet. A lot of his responses that gives you kind of good information about the movie doesn't even come from his main tweets. It comes from questions to those tweets, and then they respond, and that's how you get the really juicy stuff. And one of the questions was the whole Neve thing, is she? Because some people missed that, viewer non through the old sources right under the bus, that they were the bad sources. And basically it's no Neve. Sydney is not in the movie, but she is mentioned a few times, so more than once, which is okay. I mean, it goes back to, I haven't talked about it much, and I'm sure we'll talk about it much more as we get closer. It's been a roller coaster with the Neve Campbell thing, and where I settle on it is still that it's stupid. It's garbage. She should be in it. The money shouldn't have been an issue. That's kind of it, right? We've been on a roller coaster of, well, maybe she is in it, and it's all just been a big surprise or whatever, and ultimately, when all that stuff fades, I have the same thought about it now as I did in the very beginning, which is, this is pretty dumb that you don't have her in the movie. So that opinion hasn't changed. Does she hurt the movie in the box office? We'll see. I still think she will, to a small extent, not 30, 40, $50 million. I do think she'll hurt it to a small extent not being in it, but we'll see. We'll see what happens when the movie actually releases. All right, the next ones are, a little bit more spoiler-filled, however you want to call it. One of the main things is the opening of the film. So there's actually several tweets talking about the opening, so let's read out a few of them. I get asked who the opening victim in Scream 6 is a lot. I don't want to reveal that because it's a clever, surprising sequence. It's also not a simple answer. Imagine if in 2010 you asked who the opening victim in Scream 4 is. And then in parentheses for a second tweet, the opening of Scream 6 does not feature stab footage or any fake outs a la Scream 4. It just keeps you on your toes in a similar way. And later on in the thread, somebody did ask about like a death, and ViewerAnon does confirm. Again, this is a little spoiler. Now, we don't know who it is, but I mean, ViewerAnon says there will be a death. Somebody does die before the title, before it says Scream 6, right? Before the title sequence hits the screen, which, you go back historically, you could argue it's not a spoiler, but Jenna Ortega, right, Tara, she didn't die in the beginning, and that was the one, that was the fake out or the twist, the very first twist of many in Scream 5, right? So that is, I mean, now we can kind of, I'm going to say pencil it in, because you never know with these people in the first place, right? You can kind of pencil it in that there could be some deaths. But the way he words it, I mean, because, like, you think you kind of got a grasp of what he's talking about, right? Like, when you ask yourself who dies first, or you ask out loud who dies first in Scream 4, how do you answer that question? Because there's multiple, right? There's multiple duos, 3 of them, in that film. In fact, the third one, the real ones, they have an alternate one too, right? That you could watch separately. So there was a lot going on there. But then, saying that there is no stab footage, so it's not going to be people watching stab, but it's just going to keep you on your toes. I don't know. It could just be like a fake out death, like maybe somebody dies that you think dies, but they actually are alive, but only for somebody else to die. But they're real. They're characters in Scream 6 in New York. And that's kind of how I envision it, because you gotta imagine, well, how is it going to keep you on your toes without being footage of footage of footage? The only way to do it is probably having fake outs with the real life people. You think somebody's dead, or you think somebody, whatever, and then it kind of switches it. So that's pretty interesting, and that's something obviously we'll have to keep our eyes on. Whether we get a hint of that in the trailer for Scream 6, or that's just something we're gonna use, in the trailer for Scream 5, we knew, like, Jenna had teased, and we actually had theories that Jenna was going to be the opening attack before it was, like, very much known, and then it was a debate of, is she going to live or die, and clearly she was going to live, and you could tell that from even the trailer if you, look close enough. But, even before that, Jenna kind of teased, like, hey, Drew Barrymore, like, there's similarities there. So, and then when the trailer happened, the phone call, she's answering, that's the opening. So I wonder if they're going to clue us in on, here's the opening of Scream 6, or if they're just going to kind of let it go and give it, make it a surprise when the actual film comes out. And then one other interesting thing I noticed is, with Clips Comprehend and the whole, avalanche or wave of, like, fake rumors, right, is that we don't really know, we don't know what was real, what was fake. But one of the things that people have really been pumping themselves up for, right, is there was a rumor that Kirby and Gale get phone calls from Ghostface. Now, it seems like Gale may still get the phone call, but Kirby, somebody asked, ViewerAnon, I believe the line was, can you give us a line from the Kirby Ghostface call? And ViewerAnon responded with that 404 page, like on the internet when it's like page not found. That's what he responded with. So, can you give us a line? Page not found, as in she doesn't get a call. Again, if that's true, at this point, like, people have seen the test screenings, and ViewerAnon hasn't, but people are telling him things. Now, there could be fake information being fed his way still, but you're more inclined, I think, to believe what's going on in the film, considering people have seen it and are probably, like, feeding him the information. So I would believe there's no Kirby phone call. Disappointing. We'll see how it goes. I'm not saying, again, you got to be careful with this. I think you guys are all very, very intelligent. There could be some people that say, oh, Alex is disappointed in the Kirby phone call. He hates the movie now, right? It's like, no, you gotta wait for the movie to come out to properly judge it. But no, I would have liked to seen it. Her phone call in 4 is one of the best in not just 4, but in the entire series. I think I actually ranked like a year ago every single phone call from Ghostface in the entire series, and she, I think, probably like in the top 5 to 7 or 8. She's up there. It's an incredible sequence, more than just her kind of doing stuff, but she carries it to a good extent. So would have liked to seen it, but I'll take Gale. I'll take, another Sam. Obviously, Sam will get called, I'm sure, multiple times. Tara, maybe, right? So we'll see how that all goes. But that's the news. There was a couple other things. I'm not going to report on every single thing Viewer Anon says. I feel like that's kind of annoying, probably to you guys, and to also me, I guess. But those are some of the bigger things that stood out to me. So I'll continue to keep an eye on it. And one final thing is that it doesn't seem like a trailer's coming this week from pretty much, not even just Viewer Anon, from like everybody. It seems like, if anything, it would be like in the middle to end of the month. This month, December. This month is November, so December, right? End of December seems to be probably when the trailer happens, if not even January, which I think is actually pretty stupid. But again, not to get too critical, but that's just something to throw out there that the CCXP that happens this week on Thursday, starts on Thursday. I don't think, based off what I'm seeing online, doesn't seem like a trailer's coming, but you never know. At this point, the trailer's going to be spoiled before it even happens because we're getting all these screenshots. So they better hurry it up because, people aren't going to stop leaking it. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on. If you guys want to support or follow the channel anywhere else, all our social media, including our Patreon and YouTube memberships, are in the description below if you guys want to check it out. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one.